Every time there is a change at a ministerial level, the industry needs to gear up to lobby all over again. At the centre, the Housing Ministry has seen 3 changes in 5 years. Ministers who've come, made big promises, but way before anything could be implemented, they've been moved. In today's Realty Debate, we'll focus on what this instability at the top means, how much of a setback it is for the real estate sector, which seems to be hitting anyway a sluggish patch, just like many other industries are actually in the country or across the country. Also, another big question, have states where there has been a stable minister or a government done better than others with frequent changes? To answer some of these important questions, we have today the country's leading voices from real estate, Naveen Raheja, CMD Raheja Developers. Sir, thank you very much for joining in. Sanjay Dutt, Executive Managing Director, South Asia, Cushman and Wakefield. Sanjay, good to have you with us. Sujay Kalele, CEO, Kolte Patil Developers, and we will be joined by more voices as we go along into the discussion. I'm just going to start with the first question to Mr. Raheja because he's very close to the policy making of the powerhouse. So just look at the leadership switch, Mr. Raheja. Selja Kumari came in 2009, Ajay Maken, October 2012. He actually was a minister who seemed to be in a hurry to get something implemented, but wow, he went out equally fast. And now we have Girija Vyas. So you tell us, I've kept it very soft saying you have to lobby all over again, but is that it, or there is a big effect of ministers changing?
I think the latest change has made the entire process reversing by almost 4 years now.
Really?
Yes.
You mean to say whatever you had been lobbying for,
yes,
you've gone back 4 years?
We have gone back 4 years. It is extremely unfortunate.
Why do you say that?
Because when in 2009, we first made Kumari Selja to understand that what exactly are the problems, why we are not able to give housing to common man. And while we give housing to common man, the industry will also grow and we will cover that deficiency as well. Secondly, we were talking about if there is a regulatory act and regulatory bill, how we can make it balanced, which goes for growth of industry as well as it can remove unscrupulous people from the system. Then we are worried, even today we are worried that we have more than 50 to 60 clearances which we have to go. It takes years and our money is stuck up, the cost of money has gone up
single window clearance, the big
single
demand.
window clearance system. So NAREDCO, as president of NAREDCO, I also have given, I think, not less than 50 man days working with government, taking out time from my business, going, advising, lobbying, even writing for them the systems.
And nothing's come
And
of it.
when we had achieved everything, and everything now in draft form, final draft form was ready, there is a change. And it is extremely unfortunate for the entire country.
So you mean to say now with the new minister you have to start the process all over again on all these issues, or do you think that you can pick up from where, I mean, after all we are a democracy and we should be able to pick up from where we've left off with the previous minister. It doesn't happen though, does it, Mr.
It at times does not happen because everybody has got its own ideology, his own or his or her own thinking process. You have to take them around. And nobody, I think, right now the priorities will be more upon political front because elections are approaching one by one.
Right.
So,
anyway, the attention of any new minister is not going to be
file
on
ourselves
anything.
now, 4 years after we file ourselves that entire work, we are lost, we are nowhere.
We are nowhere. All right, just look at this. We thought that Mr. Maken, he spoke vociferously about the real estate regulator bill. He got, or at least got through a cabinet nod on 5th June 2013. That was one big measure to step up private and government funding for affordable EWS housing that Mr. Raheja spoke about. There was also credit risk guarantee fund was implemented by Mr. Maken, but The operating norms were completely missing. He said as a minister, we will bring in further clarity. But guess what? Before he's brought in further clarity, he's gone. The focus was also on the second phase of Rajiv Awas Yojana. I do know that the ministry, both under Shailja Kumari and Mr. Markan, were very keenly focusing on all that went missing in the first phase and what needs to be done in the second phase. Now you have another minister who's so close to the election. I don't know whether she will be able to grapple with the big issues and the complicated issues which are involved with Rajiv Awas Yojana. The second phase, releasing higher FSI, was a top priority for the ministry under the leadership of Ajay Markan. Guess what? That's gone as well. Sanjay Dutt, come in here and tell me, I mean, these are just some of the issues that I've mentioned, but would you agree with Mr. Raheja? It's a big setback to have such frequent changes at the top?
No, absolutely. So I believe, it takes a while for the industry to come together, put all the common points together, make sure that the prioritization is done, and therefore then you voice it to the government. Whether you do it under the leadership of CREDAI, whether you do it under the leadership of FICCI, CII, or actually a one-on-one interaction with the political leadership. All that effort that we put together last 3 to 4 years, which came out very well towards the end, and a lot of it got actually implemented and addressed also, although a substantial still left to be addressed. Certainly, and I agree with Naveen-ji, I think this is all lost. Only thing I would say is let's not lose faith. Let's come together again, maybe work a little harder and make sure that we cover the distance we covered last 4 years in 4 months with this new leadership.
All right, that just seems to be such a tall order, especially with this new leadership, because clearly even as a journalist, I've been trying to reach out to the new minister, and right now I don't think the focus at all is on the ministries per se. The focus seems to be more on the impending elections which are around the corner. Sujay Kalele, we keep talking about the center, but then real estate is a very, very state level subject. Do you think what we're discussing today, we shouldn't even bother because what's happening at the center pretty much doesn't affect the life of developers in other states?
No, I think partly what you said, Manisha, is true that, to some extent, some of the approvals that we need are a state subject. But what happens, you see, is that unless you have a, powerful urban development minister at the center, because some of the policies and some of the problems that even the state level developers face need certain representation at the central level. For example, take case of environmental clearance. It's pretty much a central subject. It's affecting all of us. At the end of the day, we still feel to understand that when you are doing projects within the municipal city limits, why do you need to take environmental clearance? But you need lobbying at that level, and you need a supportive minister to take up the case, and so many more subjects really. So you take example of RERA. I mean, it was a welcome move, but before actually any further changes could have been made, or it would have been more balanced, the minister goes away. So to some extent it does affect the day-to-day functioning for all the developers and the industry as a whole.
All right, we also now have Sushil Mantri, CMD Mantri Developers, joining us from the Bangalore studio, and we have Chandresh Ji Mehta, Director Rustom Ji Group, joining us from the Mumbai studio. So Sushil, Center Environment Ministry becoming a big thorn in all developers' cap, irrespective of which state they belong to, is something we've been grappling with. But what's your view? The very frequent change in the center in terms of the housing ministry, is that something that really sets back policy making, or the policy direction at least?
See what happened, all the political leaders are coming from the society. They are people like us. We are not all coming from an extremely expert as a administrative services. Whenever we take any position, it takes some time for us to understand, adjust and start applying our thoughts, so that the benefits can go back to the society. And when these frequent changes take place, then we lose all the opportunity, like whatever learnings have taken place and they are ready with their thoughts. The sudden changes totally brings back to the halt. And anybody coming to the chair, we have seen normally 2-3 months they take to stabilize themselves, and thereafter they start thinking what best can be done. And I think by that time, we lose the opportunity of getting the benefit of such experience of the respective ministers.
Absolutely.
It definitely impacts to the industry and the country as a whole, because housing is a big shortage in India.
Fair enough. So right now the panel seems to be in consensus that frequent changes just don't work. We did have a fairly long period of Shailaja Kumari at the center, Chandresh Mehta, and you know, you at least have been blessed with one minister for the entire last couple of years and not had seen any change. You've also in Maharashtra seen a real estate regulator bill getting passed. Give us your side of the picture. I mean, state versus center. How much of the center affects you, or do you think that it's not as big as the state level policy making and stability there?
I think I agree. I tend to agree with Sushil ji that frequent changes would probably be a setback as far as policy initiatives at the center is concerned. However, we need to understand that the new minister is out of the same coalition, have been in government, have been in other senior positions in the previous government and also at the state level. So we should not totally discount her. No doubt she will take some time to come up to speed to whatever has been happening in this ministry. But we need to have a positive attitude and hope that things will move at a faster pace, if not in the limited time that this government has to show some results on the ground.
All right.
And coming back to the point of stability in terms of Maharashtra, yes, we've had a stable ministry and a stable leadership, and we have made considerable amount of progress as far as regulations, especially in Bombay, is concerned. But a lot needs to be done. The real estate regulatory bill, as it is tabled in the cabinet, needs a lot of balancing to be done. All stakeholders, for it to be effective for the consumer, all stakeholders need to be brought under the gamut of this bill. By all stakeholders, I mean landowners, I mean regulatory bodies, both at the local level and at the state level, and also financial institutions and to some extent even consumers. If there is no balance, then probably it will not achieve what it is meant to achieve for the consumer.
All right. So, sticking to Maharashtra, even government's decision to give floor space index, in fact, after complete blankness on policy for many years, since October, you've seen some kind of attraction, and there's been one stable factor, which is Sachin Ahir from NCP. Sanjay, just give me a perspective in terms of, you know, Karnataka. You're in Bangalore on meeting clients. Look at the policy change from BJP to Congress, and suddenly we've got this decision that no, that government is going to allow FDI in multi-brand retail, which opens so much for the real estate sector, doesn't it? So even in terms of who's in power can pretty much change the dynamics of developers in a particular state.
So certainly, decision like these definitely help the environment, sends a signal in the market to other state governments as well that what is a rational thing to do. But clearly, in the short-term basis, does it really changes things on the ground, the dynamics on the ground, in terms of its timing, whether this is the right time to implement such policies and decision? Completely not related. But I would still say the overall impact is significant when you look at how state governments react to such policy decisions.
Naveenji, tell me, I mean, after all, real estate is a state subject as well, and you're constantly grappling as Narredco in terms of how do you balance what's happening in the center. So you had Mr. Markan saying, I want FSI in double digits, but here there is Maharashtra, which is only willing to take it up to 4 in cluster developments. We still have a long way to go in the state of Delhi itself, which is the hub of policy making. So just irrespective of what's happening, isn't the pace of change just too slow?
Too slow. But let me tell you, center has an importance. If you look at all policy guidelines, whether it is Real Estate Regulatory Act, which is going to come, and in many states, despite the bill has not actually been cleared by the parliament, and not notified yet, but many states are proceeding now with that because they've got at least a draft with them. So
A
they are
blueprint to
proceeding.
draw
A blueprint
upon.
to draw. So I know Haryana is also moving on this, Haryana is moving on affordable housing also. These blueprints which have been created by the center have given a guideline to the states.
Fair enough.
So, but it would have been much better had these bills been finally notified and been issued as a guideline to all the states. Then we could see a uniform country with uniform legislations, with uniform acts, because a developer who is developing properties into multiple states, it is very difficult for us to govern when there is a one act or one form of act is applicable in one state, another form is another state. So central guidelines are very, very important.
So you can't do away with the importance of what's happening at the center and which way is the policy moving at the center. Sushil Mantri, tell us your own experience. I mean, this big news which has just come in and it's so relevant to the sector that now with the change in government in Karnataka, you suddenly have obviously the Congress government very happy with allowing FDI in multi-brand retail. There was a whole sense of disengagement and complete disillusionment with the previous government, and maybe no one said it officially, but it was quite evident in my off-camera conversations with most developers. Do you have any hope with this government, new government?
Yeah, we have quite a lot hopes with the present government in Karnataka, because the earlier government was coalition government and there were a lot of compulsions when there is a coalition government. But this time I think we have a clear mandate given by the voters and we are expecting quite a lot good changes to take place because they have the majority, they have ability to implement what they are thinking is right. And we hope a lot of good things to take place shortly in Karnataka now.
All right, gentlemen, we're going to take a very quick break. I do want to understand. So we've looked at the fact and come to the conclusion that yes, a change in government and a frequent change in ministry at the center level is just not good for policy making. It sets back policy making by several years if you count to the countdown. We're going to come back and actually look at now some of these big things which are pending. The regulator bill, we'll also look at FSI and affordable housing, three things, and single window clearance, the fourth and the most important to developers. How do you move forward on these issues between the state and the center? Welcome back. While India is struggling on economic growth on the policy front and there's been a complete disillusionment in terms of policy making, real estate sector is of course hitting another sluggish patch. Now we are examining today that very basic question: what do you do on a policy front? If you've lobbied with one minister for 4 years, you see a change, another minister comes and then yet another minister comes, how much do you get set back? There are 4 key issues that we are discussing today, and we want our panel today present to tell us how do you move forward on this issue. Now, real estate regulator bill, I'm going to start with that. Chandresh, you spoke about the bill, but overall, if the cabinet clears it, first of all, do you think the cabinet will clear it in the next parliament session?
Anybody's guess. It's anybody's guess. I mean, they should, the intent is there. But they need to get everybody on board, and there is still certain amount of conflict and certain amount of grey areas which need to be clarified.
Fair enough. Tell me about
the overall the intent is there to get the bill on board.
All right. Tell me about the single window clearance. Whenever I speak to developers, they say that's the #1 priority. Are you hopeful that will go through, Chandresh? Your view first?
No, I don't think that there is enough political will to get this through a single window clearance. As a matter of fact, the plethora of legislation is increasing by the day. Instead of closing windows, we are opening new windows. So we have one window at the center which is to do with environment, which to do with civil aviation, to do with defense, the lands that are stuck up in defense, the lands that are stuck up in ports, and then you have the state window, and then you have the local body. So even though we are talking about decreasing the paperwork, decreasing the regulation, the idea is to increase the supply, but day by day I see more and more legislation, more and more approvals, and more windows opening. So I don't see, maybe there is talk, but nobody is walking the talk.
Nobody is walking the talk. Sushil Mantri, you tell me, how do you get this through? More windows opening, more number of processes, procedures and approvals to tackle. Is there any light at the end of the tunnel at all, or this is something that's become status quo and everybody is accepted in your industry that you live with?
See, I personally feel, I think everybody is acting in a not in a one common goal. When the government keep telling that housing for all, but I don't think any moves are made from all the parties to provide that housing for all. Unfortunately, center keep bringing everyday new regulation, state also brings new regulations, and local level authorities delays the plan approval abnormally. And all these processes ultimately cost more money for the real user who is planning to buy the home. And why this is not happening? I think the housing for all is the motto only discussed, but in the reality it is not implemented. I think if everybody comes on the same motto, I think all these things handling is not an issue. Because I have a simple question. When we submit the drawings to the fire authorities or environment or pollution control board and so many other authorities, we submit the same drawings to every authority, and every authority put the rubber stamp on the each same drawings only. Then why it cannot be done at one location? It's very easy, but unfortunately nobody want to lose the power what they are having under the statute, and I think that's the real problem.
Right. You know, Sanjay, come in here. Is this so curious to just a market like India, or it's most emerging markets facing these kind of problems? Because real estate sector, at least in India, seems to be one where everybody smells a lot of money.
No, really, this is in most emerging markets, you know, the evolution of regulatory environment change, adjusting to new policies, investment policies, all that takes place, and therefore there are problems of this nature. So only exception would be countries like China, where it's very easy to implement under the regime that they actually have, or some Eastern European countries where they are able to just simply implement the best practices of the neighbors and the more developed nations. But I would like to add that, you know, if you really go back, you know, 20-30 years, when the CBD in the country was born on Barakhamba Road, KG Mark and MG Road in Bangalore, for example, what we were then and how we struggled last 25 years and what we've achieved between 2005 to today, substantial improvement in terms of our outlook to global investors, visibility to the investors, although I dare say, because right now we're going through some challenges of our own, but I would say tremendous progress made. And you know, when did we hope from this country that everything will get overnight done in 2-3 years? It has never happened before. So, you know, this country has just learned to have a coalition government. Earlier it used to be single party, and this was just 10 years back. So, nation of this size or such complexity takes time.
Absolutely. In fact, everybody is calling it maturing of democracy, and we probably will have to live going forward with just coalition governments and never have a government with clear majority. Karnataka's got lucky this time, but at the center it's seeming absolutely something which may not happen for many more years to come. Depends on how politics will evolve. But Sujay Kalele, just give me your views here. You know, with elections around the corner, do you think that we can expect anything on the policy front, at least till you have a verdict in May 2014, or as of now you just live with all that you've got to deal with?
No, I think if we look at the past trends of elections, what clearly stands out is whatever are the agenda points which will give the government some brownie points as far as the mass voters go. For example, affordable housing and any change of policy revolving around that. It may be some further implementation of Rajiv Awas Yojana. It may be, you know, some other policy measures which basically, you know, revolve around the larger population and larger issue of affordable housing. I think those will take a priority. Obviously, real estate regulatory bill has passed the cabinet, and I think in the next session it should be taken. But other than that, on the new policy making, I don't think, other than affordable housing, any other initiative that push. FSI, single window clearances have been talks for the last, I think, at least 2 governments that I am hearing, but nothing has moved at all. So I think pretty much in whatever 6-8 months are remaining, because after that policy making and the election code of conduct will kick in if we take a May 2014 election date. So pretty much around affordable housing will be some action, if at all we are able to see, we'll see.
Alright, so real estate regulator bill was clearly meant for the middle class voters, right?
Correct.
That was, let's accept it, that was Mr. Markan's posturing, and that's the reason why the cabinet cleared it. Now we don't know whether the bill will get cleared in the parliament. Affordable housing is a much larger question. Rajiv Awas Yojana was a disaster in phase 1. Do you have any hopes that in the next 6 to 8 months something will move and dramatically enough to make any impact?
See, we can look at one thing. I think affordable housing, since the central guidelines have been finalized, book has that has been submitted, and it was just a matter of few more days when I discussed with Markan Saab. He said that we will launch it through PIB, and we will put it through the government that we have come out with this policy, and we will circulate. That was the last, I think last week was almost decided, and then this change came.
But do you think it will go through with the new minister?
With
Have
the
you
new
met
minister,
her yet?
with the new minister, it's only unless we are able to talk to to her, she is able to understand, and then naturally whether she is able to take it up with the high command.
High command at all or not, right?
Whether this is a priority or not.
So within the portfolio also we need to understand how powerful she is and what her equation with the high command is, whether she will get the attention and the ear of the high command or not. All right.
There are priorities there also,
Priorities
so there's so
there
many
also.
other things to be pushed.
Well, we can only hope that 2 things, at least for the consumer, it's extremely important to have some kind of a policy move, both on the regulator bill and of course on affordable housing, to make homes for common man available. Gentlemen, thank you very much. It was a very interesting, slightly offbeat discussion, but just for me to understand how much difference does it make in terms of policy changes at the center, it was quite valuable to get your inputs. Thanks very much.
GoDaddy.